Okay. Hi. So the reason why let me sign on to TalkShoe. Hold on.
You are unmuted and can speak with the host.
All right. Um okay. All right. Sorry. The reason why it took me so long to get back was I wanted to replay the previous video and make sure that you could actually hear the first I think it was like 15 to 30 minutes of the video. So, yes, you could, which is I'm happy because I was like, it's gonna look so weird because you yeah, whatever. So there was no technical difficulties in the beginning of that. So I wanted to make sure that after you live, so that's fine. So now I'm back for TI Random Talk. I just signed on to TalkShoe. Let me give you that information. First, let me read the disclaimers, which is and I also got some light because it's getting dark outside and I lost my natural light. So I hope that helps a little bit. Let's see. Okay, disclaimer. Okay. The opinions expressed on this forum is not representative of PLN's official stance. RX's opinion is based on the information available at the time and not PLN's official stance. Not everyone who calls in is a TI. The gangstalkers have a tendency to pretend to be TIs and interfere with activities related to TIs. PLN and RX can't guarantee that TI hour participants, including guests, are real TIs or if what is being said by anyone is true. This isn't to invalidate anyone, but to take into consideration that gang stalkers sometimes pretend to be TIs. All right. So with that said, um, yeah, so this is your time. There's no main topic for I actually got some people on TalkShoe to participate and listen. And I'm not putting down the people who just watch and don't say anything. I appreciate you. So don't ever feel but I'm kind of excited that someone is people are participating. So yeah, there's why did I say that? So yeah, there are people. Oh yeah, for them, I wanted to explain. So the first hour is mainly um, there's a topic. There's a main topic, and everything centers around that main topic. And the second hour is random talk, so that you could call up and you could talk about anything. So that's how this works. So I don't know if I'm gonna. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna hang out around maybe until like 5 o'clock. Well, I don't know if I'm not talking. I'll hang around for a few minutes to see if anybody calls in, chats in, and wants to talk. If not, again, I'm gonna cut it short. So, and you don't ever feel pressure to talk or comment. Do whatever's comfortable for you. Let me see. So I got two people on YouTube, and I think I wow. Anyway, I got two people on YouTube and they're just watching, and that's fine. Thank you for watching. And the phone number is 605-562-0444. And that's 605-562-0444. And the show ID is 2899831. And if you don't feel like this could be international, if you're from a different country and you want to call in, just let me know. I think I could get you the call-in number for a different country so that you'll be charged local rates. If you don't feel comfortable calling in and you want to use your computer to chat in, um, then you could. I think you go to TalkShoe, you sign in, and then instead of using the phone call, you use the internet, and they're gonna use and I'm letting you know in advance because some TIs are really funny about that, and that's okay that you're funny about that. What they're gonna use is they're gonna use, your computer's, microphone, and that's gonna have you, like, you know, just chat with me, so there's no phone call. It's gonna be like a Yahoo chat or something. It's just gonna be like a regular chat line, but with voice instead. So if you don't wanna call in, you could chat you could do it that way. I also have, on YouTube, they have the chat box, and they also have a chat box on, TalkShoe. So there's a lot of ways. If you wanna talk, you can talk. Let me see. What are your goals for the prevention of gang stalking? PLN's goals, as well as mine, is just exposure, full out and out exposure. And what that means is that full exposure. Okay, I gotta speak for myself because I read the disclaimer. So my idea of full exposure is the DOJ recognizes gang stalking, and the DOJ is doing something about gang stalking. DOJ is Department of Justice in America, so is doing something about gang stalking. Agencies are even like I forgot what agency it was that handles the stalking, are helping TIs, helping anyone affected by this. Things assistance is there for people, just like there's assistance for rape victims, there's a system for other crime victims. If there's assistance for people, um who went through homicide, theft, or whatever, TIs are victims. So if TIs have victim assistance and the DOJ recognizes and is doing something about gang stalking. So that's the number one goal, full exposure of what is happening. That means TIs aren't being called crazy. Okay. That means TIs can go to the cops and it's real cops, who really want to do something about this and not the ones who are participating. And I want anyone who is in DOJ and who is participating in this, they're being held accountable also. So just like full exposure all around, whether there's gang stalkers in the government, whether there's gang stalkers in the convenience store on your corner, full exposure. This is being handled. The victims are getting help. The people who are committing this are being held accountable. So that's what the goal is. Okay. Well, I'm glad I answered your question. Thank you for commenting. So yeah, so that's it. So yeah, so this hour is just full blast on and on. Um, there was something I wanted to talk about last week because I think last week the topic was should TIs ingest anything? And so, or no, should TIs leave anything that could be ingested at home? And so I think I also went into um I think you talked about how you could take like things that you could do for your food and stuff. And one of the things that I wanted to add was that and I'm gonna actually do a topic on this, but I just wanted to touch on it briefly because I feel like, if I tell people you don't leave your food at home, and I wasn't telling you not to leave your food at home. I was just giving you like scenarios and stuff because that is a big concern for TIs. Should they leave their food at home? Is their food being poisoned and stuff? So I kind of felt like maybe someone would say, "Okay, I'm not gonna leave my food at home. I'm just gonna eat out." So I wanted to talk about this. And I'm gonna do a TI topic on it. Should TIs eat out? Should you go out and buy food? But I'm gonna touch on it briefly, which I think you should still be careful when eating out because gang stalkers do work in the food industry, and if they know that you're frequently, I know I watched a video where this guy went to like the same McDonald's. I have nothing against McDonald's. McDonald's is cool with me, but he went to McDonald's or Burger King. I don't know. He went to some kind of fast food place, and I think he said that he usually went there and ordered some kind of drink. And what he noticed was that every time he went there now, his drink was being watered down. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. Okay. But I brought it up to show that gang stalkers could be working in these places. And I have seen gang stalkers work in these places and they could be tampering with your food. So you be careful. And I think I watched another video where a TI was saying she was a new TI and she was or she said that she ordered her food and it tasted funny or something like that. She didn't say she was poisoned, but they were like giving her less quality food when she did takeout. So you should still be careful. Doing takeout and eating out might seem like the proper answer, but you should still be careful if you're doing takeout, or you're ordering out because they can still mess with your food, or whatever. So, and I don't want you to feel cornered or like, oh my God, but it's just some things to take into consideration. If you like do want to do that, maybe what you want to do is buy pre-packaged food. So like let's say if you go to the supermarket, they'll have like some supermarkets have places where they cook fresh food, and then they have places where they have the food already made. It's like the food that's in the takeout, but it's already just made and saran wrapped in case, and you could just take it home and you reheat it. So that's another way for you to eat out. However, what you need to be careful is if you're coming in the same time, um, if you're coming in the same day, they watch you and they know your routine. So if you're getting the same things all the time and you're coming in at certain times, they might still like make your sandwich and still tamper with it. And that's not to say that you can't do it, but just switch it up a bit so they don't know what you're doing. Okay. So like get like maybe 4 or 5 selection of sandwiches. And that's not to say you're going to be completely safe, but it's a little bit safer. So I just want to talk about that. Um, I will do I probably will do someday, um, a follow-up to that. I just wanna make sure start recording. Okay. Alright. So that's pretty much it. Let's see, what else? So, while I'm talking, just jump in. Like, if you feel like saying something, you don't have to wait until I'm done talking because this hour is about what you want to talk about, so you can interrupt me at any time. I'm just keeping things going until like there's no I'm gonna keep it going for a few more minutes and see if anyone wants to say anything, but I'm not gonna talk for the whole hour. Because there's no I said it just to reiterate, there's no main topic on this. This is about you and what you want to talk about. And it could switch up too, meaning that so let's say someone says, "Oh my gosh, I went to work today or yesterday, whatever, and I was so pissed off because someone did blah 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 blah." They can rant and rave about that. But if let's say you want to talk about, I don't know, you wanna talk about how your family betrayed you at Christmas, and that's, like, a totally different topic, you could do that. So it's not like anything there's no steadfast, it's not like someone's gonna bring up a topic because they were pissed off at work today that you have to continue that. You're like, okay, you let the person, finish their topic, and it's like, "Okay, I wanna talk about, betrayal. My family betrayed me," or whatever, whatever. And, and that's so it's nothing is really, really, really set in stone at all. Oh, wait, hold on. And you might as well play a TI recording from YouTube because that air just sucks big time. I know. I didn't really prepare anything because and that's a comment that was left on TalkShoe. So I'm operating on two different medias. I'm operating on TalkShoe and on YouTube live stream. I know that you could integrate the two, but I really don't know how to do that yet. So I'm not. So the second hour is only right. So someone asked me, "Are you a victim?" With all respect. Um, so I think if you watch, I think it's the video on the TI hour. During TI hour, I am not going to answer any questions about myself or PLN. so, and that's just to let you know. So if you come in with expectations that, maybe you have questions you want to know about me, you want to ask about me and stuff, or you want to know more about what PLN is doing. Like I didn't mind the question at all. It's like what the end goal is. I like that's general, and that's something I would like people to know. But I'm not gonna answer any questions about myself, any further questions about myself or PLN, and that's because, I don't want it to be about me. It's not about me, it's not about PLN. I want to always the focus to be on the victims, And, the other thing also is there's a Patreon account, but I don't really Patreon on the Patreon, I talk about the research. I'm in charge of the page on PLN's Patreon account. And yes, that does cost money. On PLN's Patreon account, that's where you can learn more about the research, and it's actually fun. Yeah, I'm gonna give us a plug. I'm gonna give PLN's Patreon a plug. It's actually fun because there's a TI hour on there and how it's structured. And this is what I was supposed to talk about last week, but I started rambling. I'm gonna keep it going for about 9 more minutes till 5 o'clock, and then I'm probably gonna shut off if no one wants to talk about anything. And you don't have to talk about yourself. If you wanna just talk about how the world screwed up, that's fine too. Or how, no one's listening, everyone thinks whatever. So it's not necessarily that you have to talk about something personal. It's just whatever you wanna talk about, as it relates to the situation, the gang stalking. Um, it should be about all of us that's going through it because this is a very serious where our lives are being. Yeah, no, it's about all of us. It's just that I don't want, sometimes when you're hosting a show, everyone wants to know what's happening with you, with you, with you, with you, and you kind of like become the main topic and main subject. And I don't want that to happen. I want this to be about the TIs and everyone else. And so that I think by not answering any questions because when you answer questions it leads to more and more questions. I feel like that's going to keep the focus on the viewers and the audience. And even the audience, if the audience wants to call in during TI hour and ask questions about the situation, that's fine too, but I really really want it just to be about the TIs. So yeah, TI hours fun. I think it's like $20 a month or something like that. And what happens is there you're kind of like guaranteed. It's not like an open forum like this one. It's you're guaranteed to talk. Like the way it's structured is like everyone has talk time. So like so of course you're not going to join unless you want to talk, but you are guaranteed time to talk and everything. And there's fun stuff to do also. I don't know if I should say it. Yeah, there's fun activities and stuff, that TIs could do. I'm not gonna say because I don't know if I should. It's nothing like, big or anything like that. It's nothing secretive or anything like that. It's just, I'm not sure, so I'm just gonna err on the side of caution. So yeah, so there's like fun stuff to do on on PLN's Patreon, TI hour also. And yeah, so if you definitely want to talk, you can. It is hosted on TalkShoe also, which is the other medium that I'm using now. So it's going to be the same thing. And I think I think it could be posted publicly. It's not live when you do it; it's private. And I'm not sure if it's going to be posted. I think it may be posted on Patreon. It's gonna be posted on Patreon, so you could listen to it on Patreon, but I don't think no, yeah, the Patreon TI hours are not gonna appear on YouTube. Yeah, the PLN's Patreon TI hours will not be posted on YouTube. Like, anything that's on Patreon is not gonna be posted on YouTube. It's just gonna be on Patreon for the Patreon, participants, and then some of it might be posted on YouTube. So that's how that works. So this one, it's just posted on YouTube and, everyone could have access to it and everything like that. So, yeah, so that's a little bit about PLN's Patreon TI hour and about this being all about, and even on there, I don't really talk about myself. I talk about it's all about the viewers and it's all about the audience and TIs and stuff like that, or POIs. I know POIs are persons of interest, and persons of interest are the people who are not really fully TIs. It's like they're keeping an eye on you to make sure that they don't that you're not like bothering their system or something, their sadistic system. So if you become a researcher, if you start researching this like myself, you will become a POI, person of interest, and they're just watching you being stupid. Well, I can say what I want because my opinion is not representative. They're just like, okay, let me not go on. So yeah, they could watch you. So your family members become POIs because they are directly related to you, and anyone who interacts with you or who's kind of like orbiting their little network. So kind of as a research, I'm kind of like orbiting it. I'm watching, I'm seeing what they're doing, I'm observing. So now they're like, oh, we're gonna be watching her, see what she's doing, observing. If you were if let's say if the DOJ was actually doing something about this, um, they would probably be POIs. Um, yeah, if you were a cop, monitoring this, you'd be a POI. If you were even like if you were just let's say, and I want to be honest because I want people to know like what this entails. If you were like an audience member who, just shows what they think is too much interest in this, you might become a POI. And that's all you are, a person of interest. They're watching you, making sure that you don't interfere with their insanity, and deciding whether or not you're going to become a full blown TI, or if you're going to stay a POI, or if they're just going to ignore you, or you're going to go right back into the audience. So that's one thing. So POIs can call in and talk about it if they want. Um, yeah, so it's not just like it's, but it's mainly I want TIs to have a forum because as you see in Going Subliminal, I talk to the beast. Okay. I'm not like a medium or anything. I'm just a researcher. And I I'm just a researcher who found a way to break into their system and I don't want to say communicate. They use that word a lot. We communicate. We stop. Ugh, they're so. Anyway, so I've just found ways to break into their system, and in and okay. Let me not go into. I found a way in Going Subliminal. What you see me doing is I'm kind of like um going into their system and taking out a subliminal and allowing it to be heard in I want to say the real environment, the should I say unsubliminal environment. So what you're hearing is what's going on in the real world, but it's kind of like below. Okay, I can't go into it without like saying too much. But yeah, so what you're hearing is the actual beast and the devices that they use in Going Subliminal. So I spent a lot of time. I think those videos freak people out. So um that's why we kind of like that's why I pulled them from there. Um because I don't think like people understand really what's going on. And to tell you the truth, I really don't understand what's going on yet, and what I'm hearing. So that's why those are pulled off of YouTube and put on the Patreon because I didn't want it to be too disturbing because it is kind of advanced, and maybe it just seemed like the viewership was a little bit like off put by it. So now those are off. So with that, I talk to the beast or whatever's going on there because anyway, so that's what's going on there, and the audio is not that good, so still working on that. And the reason why is because it's a lot clearer with the devices that I use, but when I try to like put it onto live, the audio changes a bit, so it sounds a lot lower quality because on playback, it sounds terrible, but, like, when I do it on the devices that I use, it just sounds a little bit better. So, I was having a little bit issue with that, so you might hear, like, a lot of fuzz and stuff and not the actual thing, but yeah, so in Going Subliminal, I talk to the beast, and I'm not, like, possessed, or they're not possessing me or talking through me or anything. This is the actual device I'm using. It's a mechanical device that picks up um the things that they use, the devices that they use. So no, they're not going through me. I'm not speaking. I'm not making those sounds. I'm actually picking up their actual device. And I've learned a lot, So I was like, okay, well, here I am, all this. And even in About Them, I don't think I've made an About Them video in a while, but it seemed like I was kind of like focusing on the beast, which I think is very important because they're kind of like hidden in the background. And I felt like it was important to like bring them to the foreground and let people know these people do exist. And what's interesting, I found, and I'm not trying to tell you to be sympathetic or be even less defensive around people who are trying to hurt you, but it seems like some of them don't want to be a part of this, and they're trying to seek a way out, and they can't seem to get out of it. So that's interesting too. So it seems like, but I found that I was like, it was just getting too much about them, I wanted to bring them to the foreground and let the world know that they do exist and they are there. But I felt like I was not paying enough attention to the victims. So that's why I started TI Hour. And I wanted to make TI Hour general so that you could talk about what you need to talk about, because some of them, well, whatever. So yeah, so that's why. So Glowing Subliminal is more about the beast and people who aren't involved in this in their subliminal system because they really haven't come out yet in the real world. And then this TI hour is about the victims and what you have to say and what you observe. And what I think I'm going to do one time is I want to know what you, as the victim in the victim circumstances, have observed about them. So I'm actually going to have, I think I will have, if I think I might, don't, I'm not going to say definitely, have a section where, because I want to hear how you see them and how you perceive them also, because I think that's important also, and that's going to help a lot as move as the move towards exposure is going. So not listening, no time to type. I cannot tell you what device I'm using because this is a research in progress, and yeah, I can't tell you that. So yeah, so I really can't talk about the research like that. Um, let's see. Sorry about that. And so I think so that's why I wanted to, so that's why I bought out like Patreon. There's a Patreon TI hour in case you want to join that. It does cost, I think it's like $20 a month, and it is like mainly on Patreon. I don't think some of the episodes might be on YouTube, but as of now, most of them won't be. If you are interested, but in that, it's not that you're required to talk, it's just that you have talking time where people are going to listen to you, because I think that's important for TIs to talk and have people who understand what's going on listen to them. So that's the Patreon. And then I just wanted to like show the difference between Going Subliminal. How Going Subliminal is about talking to the beast or the gang stalkers in their subliminal environment that they are in and live in. And then TI hours is about the victims who are actually experiencing what's going on. So in case you didn't know what the difference was and everything like that. So with that said, yeah, someone wrote, you might as well play a TI recording from YouTube because dead air just sucks big time. No, not during this. I don't mind playing a recording during the main topic because that helps, like, with the main topic. But this one is just random talk. It's just if you want to talk, if you have something to say. But it seems like you guys are pretty okay. You don't want to talk about anything right now. So I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna end this right now. And next week, oh my God, I didn't say, okay, so next week's subject. So in the previous recording, I didn't say what the subject was for next week, but next week's subject, I'll say in this one, that should cover it, right? And I'll write it. I don't know when the next, so the holiday TI hour was supposed to be all of December, but it seems like, but if you remember in the beginning, I couldn't get on YouTube or live. I couldn't live stream for the first week of December, so I kind of like fell back a week. So next week will be the last week of holiday TI hour, and then I'll decide what I want to do, or from then on. So it was just strictly for the holidays to help the victims get through the holidays and stuff, because it could be tough when you're in this situation, you know. And no one's listening, no one understands, no one cares, everyone's telling you you're crazy. I just didn't want any victims to feel that way during the holiday season where it could be harder, especially like in a lot of cases, they've messed up your relationships with your family, your friends, and everybody, and you're kind of like alone and stuff. So, next week will be the last week for the holiday TI hour. And I guess I'll just be like, I guess this week I'll just start thinking about what I want to do moving forward with TI hour. Um, so next week, the topic is, should TIs date? Okay. So there's nothing specific planned, but that's the topic next week. Should TIs date? Should they go out on dates? Should they have relationships? What, about and that's it. You don't have to talk about your romantic life. You don't have to talk about anything you don't want to talk about, even if you just wanna chime in, "No, I don't think they should date because XYZ," and it doesn't have to be personal experience, but just what you think. If you don't wanna be on the show as a guest, then you could, write in and you could write an email, and I could just read it, and I could say, "TI said." I don't have to say, "This is specifically you," or "You said this." And so, yeah, you could do that, and, of course, you could always do it day of and, chime in, chat in, or whatever, or you could just watch, whatever. So that's the topic for next week. I will post when that will be up, and I think that's it. Everyone seems like they're okay. No one seems to have anything that they wanna really talk about. So I'm gonna sign off, and I will let you know when, the next show is gonna be. If you are on TalkShoe, I usually post the next show's date on YouTube, and it's on, I'll try to figure out how to post it on TalkShoe. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, thank you for commenting, and, have a good night.